It is not uncommon to find that you are still attached to someone that you were previously in a relationship. Sometimes it is difficult to let go of the past, and somehow you find that you are not only holding on to the memories, but are still in love with them. The person in question might have moved on or not, but the point is that you have both reached a consensus to end things willy-nilly. So, how do you move on when you find yourself in love with your ex? Here are 5 practical steps that might help set you on a straight path. Number 1, disconnect the communication. If indeed you want to move on with your life after the breakup, but you find yourself still thinking or being obsessed with your ex's life, one practical step you might want to take is to cut off any form of communication. As much as you would still like to remain friends with them, it is necessary to reduce or cut off your correspondence with that individual, especially at the early stage of the breakup. Whatever you focus on increases in your life, as long as you still talk, chat, or check up on them. There is bound to be a kind of reflux of emotions, making you desire the previous relationship or that individual again. As the saying goes, out of sight, out of mind. Eliminating or reducing communication is an effective method of blocking them out and will help you move on. It is even more complicated when you are already involved with someone else. Communication is the lifeblood of any relationship. Cut the line of communication and you have severed that relationship already. Sometimes you may not understand the role of communication in keeping people until it is probably too late. The reason you broke up and the person became your ex was probably because there was a problem in communication. The offense might have been taken on either side without proper confrontation or correction, and this might have deteriorated into the breakdown of the relationship. That is the reason you may have ended up going your separate ways. Despite this, it is still possible to find yourself longing for their presence. It is as a result of a bond that has been created over time between both of you as a result of communication in one form or the other. For you to move on, that bond needs to be broken just in the same manner it was built. Perhaps it might be that you are not in agreement with a separation in the first place, and you still care deeply for that person. As long as you're not considering getting back with that person, it is time to brace up, get over it, and get on with your life. Know that you have to let go completely, because you cannot afford to make the same mistake that you have made before that led you into breaking up with someone you are still in love with. What you need to do is set boundaries in your relationship. You have to break the company and put a stop to everything that is still keeping you together with that person. This way, you easily open up a line of communication for new people and you can get a move in your life. Number 2, be committed to the current person in your life. Do you know that diversified attention in a relationship could be dangerous and unhealthy to your life and your relationship? Even the Bible clearly states that a double-minded man is unstable in all his ways. When you are in a relationship, it is your duty and your responsibility to give your complete attention to that relationship. Now that you have moved away from someone with whom you have once shared romantic emotions and have gone ahead to start another relationship with someone else, you need to focus on your new relationship. Until you begin to give yourself totally to that relationship, focusing your efforts and putting your heart into it, it might be difficult to get over your ex. Since you have decided to move on, then do it completely. There's no need to keep looking over your shoulder and crying over spilt milk. Let the past be the past and bring your best into the new relationship. You might be scared of falling in love again or getting hurt by someone else, but the truth remains that your scarred heart will only heal properly when you don't keep rubbing that spot. One way to move on is to get committed and deeply responsible to that person you have found newly. That way, your attention will not be diverted, and your newfound focus will put away thoughts of your ex far from your mind. Number 3, make your future a priority. When you make your future a priority, focusing on making right the things that are ahead of you, there will be little or no time left to reminisce on the past or give life to old feelings that want to be aroused within you. As Paul said, "This one thing I do, forgetting those things that are behind and reaching forth to that thing that is before. I press towards the goal." Achieving your aims and your goal will now become a focus and priority in your life. It is then you will be able to let go and move on to what God has in mind for you. It might be difficult and seem impossible initially, but you will discover that as you begin to give room for other things and focus on making your life and those things around you better, it becomes easier to let go of those feelings that are holding you back. Your life and destiny are not tied to a single individual, and the fact that things did not work out between you does not mean you will not be successful in other relationships. You must begin to see the bright side of things instead of focusing on the hurt, pain, or whatever good thing you feel you lost in the process of breaking that particular relationship. It might even be a blessing in disguise, and God has far greater plans for you than that relationship would ever have allowed. Start focusing on making yourself better. Start focusing on making yourself a person of value and work towards achieving God's plan for your life. When you become so occupied with this, your feeling for your ex begins to wither and die a natural death. If things were going to work out between the both of you in the first place, both of you would still be together. Stop looking back and thinking about what could have been or what should have been, and start working on creating the kind of life you want for yourself. As long as you got God on your side, it is never too late or too difficult to start over again. Let His plans and purpose for your life be a guide for you. Let His word be a lamp to your feet and a light to your path. As you make your destiny and future a priority, you would gradually get over the loss of that relationship and find that you can make progress. Number 4, spend more time with your new passion. The system of life was created in such a way that it does not have room for vacuum. In essence, it has to be filled with one thing or the other. If you have decided to move on and let go of your feelings for your ex, then you have to consciously fill it up with something else. Otherwise, you will find your mind becoming occupied unconsciously with those thoughts that you think have become a thing of the past. Deliberately and intentionally fill up your mind, your emotions, your life with things that are best for you. If you are in a new relationship, give more time and attention to your partner. Commit and dedicate yourself to this new relationship, knowing that holding back is unhealthy. Connect and engage your lover, and you will see that it will cause a distraction from the feeling you have for your ex. Your love will then be channeled to your current relationship and your present lover. Spend time doing things that you love and that fuel your passion for life generally. It could be your career, a charity cause, or just serving God and helping people around you. Whatever you do, just make sure that you consciously fill up that vacuum. Number 5, engage and seek God's help. Most times, it is difficult for us to let go as humans, and we find it difficult to disengage, but of an unusual attachment. When you have tried all that you can within your human power and still cannot move on, it is time to seek help from God and let Him have His way. You should involve Him from the very start. The problems we face most times is a result of our declaration of independence from God. We only run to Him when things are all messed up and we are tangled in a web of our own making. Despite our foolishness in trying to do things in our way, God is still merciful and will come to our aid if only we ask Him or cry out to Him for help. He is the balm of Gilead and will comfort and heal your hurting heart. He will help you get over that situation and bring you to a position where you can start all over again and move on. Seek Him and get Him involved in that situation. He will give you a fresh start and help you move on.